win success by believing in yourself. Okay, cure yourself of what's known as Excusitis, which is the failure disease. How to think big and expand your horizon. You know, you are what you think you are. Make your attitudes your allies, and getting into an action habit, and the importance of all this. Welcome to this week's book review. We both read an awesome book together, and when I say together, I do mean together. You know, we sat down on the couch. I flipped the page, then he flipped the page, and then we both finished off at the same time in the same.
No, God!
Guys, it's called The Magic of Thinking Big by David J. Schwartz. And honestly, man, it was such an awesome book. Like, this dude was so ahead of his time, you know.
Or maybe not. Maybe it's just the crux of every era of living. That's how you live your life.
I mean, really, yeah, it's just that I guess we have this assumption of people back then, right? They don't have this knowledge, but looking back behind, we're like, oh, well, you know, wait a second, we were talking about the student mindset, right? Maybe we don't know everything, and maybe they did know some stuff back then.
Yeah.
Clearly. So this was, I believe he wrote in the 1960s, 1950s era.
Not even sure.
And, you know, because you read in the book and he's always talking about different dates and times, and you're like, oh, that's unusual. But this man talks about some things which are incredibly, you know, important, where, you know, we wrote down and narrowed the 6 things that we believed were really important. I chose 3 things. Sonny chose 3 things.
The key takeaways,
you know,
like from this book, which we can tell to which I've been telling to my friends, and like which we can tell you, which you can benefit from.
I think, you know, it's there's so many things. So we're going to summarize them in this podcast, you know, because I think everyone should get this book, get their hands on it and read it, like, seriously. You know, we're going to be talking about these principles where win success by believing in yourself. Okay, cure yourself of what's known as Excusitis, which is the failure disease. How to think big and expand your horizon. You know, you are what you think you are. Make your attitudes your allies, and getting into an action habit, and the importance of all this. Yeah. So I'll start off by, you know, I wrote down some key things which I thought was important. And the first one is to win success by believing in yourself. And man, this guy had some amazing quotes, which I will quote, where one of them, you know, I love where he always talks about, you know, you have to be involved in the process of belief to actually go ahead with the action, you know. And I'll read out the 3 that, you know, he spoke, and it really hit me hard. So first is, if you don't believe it's possible to climb high or achieve great things, your behavior will remain that of the average person. Yeah. Second is, belief is the thermostat that regulates what we accomplish in life. And the third is, the size of your success is determined by the size of your belief. Okay. Meaning, all of this is talking about, you know, so that third one is, if you have a little goal, you know, then you have little expectation, right? And if you have a big goal, you have big expectations. And if you sum all of this up together, what he's trying to say is, if I don't believe that I'm going to achieve my goal, I won't even start.
Yeah, and if you don't believe you're worth that goal and you're worth a bigger goal, you will never achieve that. And
so, like, you know, if I don't believe that I can climb Mount Everest and reach the top, but that's my massive goal, I'm never going to take the action step to actually hire someone to take me through, hire the gear, you know, whereas obviously if I do believe it, I'll start doing the training, I'll do what's involved. So belief is a really important process. And, you know, he talks hugely about how to expand your belief system.
Belief is what keeps gods alive in this 21st century.
That's very true.
Keep beliefs in yourself.
Nice. So what takeaway did you have, man?
I think one of the most major one, I think we'll do more podcasts on this, is the Excusitis disease, and then
we'll definitely.
the failure disease, how people have these excuses of everything in life that they're not able to do. Like, there's always an answer they have prepared in the back of their mind to justify themselves or to stop themselves, which is basically like an anchor that's stopping you from moving ahead. So basically sums up 4 major excusitis. First one is regarding your health, where people say like, oh, but my health is not good, but it runs in my family and I'm not fit because of this. Like, it's not, you're not obese because it runs in your family. You're obese because no one runs in your family.
Oh, yeah, I knew you were going to say that, bro.
Yeah, and that's the first
Cycle
one. Then
joke.
there's more like one about luck, one about age, where people speak about age, one about intellect. A lot of people think they're not capable of some responsibilities and they think they're not smart enough. And these are the excuses which hold people,
Yeah.
which these are not some things you can't change. Everything, your health you can change, your intellect you can improve, and memorizing is not a high paid skill actually, but empathizing is a more higher paid skill, and finding new ideas and implementing them. So you don't have to be storing things in your head. So he talks about, in the book he goes a lot more deeper into how to break all these things and how you can overcome all these things. And another one is like a lot of people have is, I'm too young, so I'm gonna waste my time fucking partying and drinking, which I've done. Or if I'm too old to start this and I can't do it by now. So
A reason for them not to start. Really.
reason for them to not to start. So it's both the things. It's something people keep on their bag, on the back, to like just to show, oh, I'm not there because look at this, I've got this burden on me.
What's your excuse?
Yeah.
Here's mine.
Mine's so much shinier and better than yours. Yours dull.
Such a silly game, but everyone does it.
Yeah,
Right?
everyone does it. Everyone's guilty of it too.
So I'm guilty of it. You're guilty. And we are guilty. And that's the point, right?
Yeah, but he talks about how we, like, some things we've implemented in ourselves, how we can get over these things, and how to catch ourselves when we're doing these excuses, and how to not let it be an anchor and actually move forward in life, regardless of your limitations.
I agree. I think it's a massive one that people don't know. We're definitely doing a podcast on that.
Yeah.
Excuses that hold us back that we don't even realize sometimes. You
Yeah,
know?
you have 2 choices: make excuses or make progress.
Yes, sir. I like that. And that's why we put it up there, right? This is our motto. The next one that I took was, how to think big. And, as you can guess, the name of the book is The Magic of Thinking Big. That's where he expands on massively, because if you can't think big, then you won't have big actions, right? And so ultimately, if, we have to actually work on this. It's a muscle. It's like creativity. It's an actual muscle, right? Yes, some people are born with the ability, maybe the circumstances that allow them to see bigger vision and think bigger. And you may come from a place where, not so much. And as an example of this would be a story of Tom Bilyeu, super successful. And he was in his factory, Quest, the maker of Quest bars, right? And all the people working for him were in a very low, low zone, in the sense of, money-wise, they didn't have much. And so he would ask many people the question, and he goes, magic genie at your door, and he could grant you one wish, anything in the world, anything you want.
Yeah.
And he said he was baffled because every single person gave him the same answer. And it was a money figure, and the same. Every single person, $1 million.
That's it.
And so, and exactly
It's a
right.
genie giving you everything.
And so he's like, listen, mother effer. He's like, it's a magic genie that could grant you anything. And he'd push them. He'd say it over and over and over, and they said the same answer. And so what that shows is, from the place that they come from, to them, $1 million is huge. It's massive.
It is a big amount, right? But if you get a magic stick,
a magic genie, man, you know what I mean? And so the point is, we need to open up our horizons. What I may be thinking of as a big goal, to someone else is like, really? You want to make $80 million as an example? Okay. I'm going to fly high like Jeff Bezos. I don't know where you're at.
Yeah.
So to cut it,
not only on financial terms, this goes on like other like health terms as well. Like if somebody somebody thinks about, I'm going to do these 3 laps of this park by the end of 6 months. Whereas someone there is thinking, I'm going to run a 1,000-mile marathon by the end of 3 months. So you think how big you can think.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
that determines your trajectory where it's heading. So if you have like, as the first one said, like little goals, little expectations. This also goes like, if you don't think big, you cannot set a bigger goal.
No, that's right. And I then think, it's all about, he explains how to actually do that is to magnify your opportunities and to actually be creative with your goals, right? So, when the goal comes in, most people they frame it around in a negative manner. And the way they do that is by, let's say your goal was you want to own a house by, in 3 years' time, 4 years, 5 years' time. And so the way you would frame it negatively maybe, what if there's like a world, pandemic, which we're in, what if there's like, stocks crash or I lose my job and maybe we'll have to go for a smaller house. So you're narrowing it down. And he says, well, magnify your opportunities. Why not imagine everything plus 10 times what you imagine? Well, maybe what if we get one that's 10 times as big? We have a farm, we have a large, you know what I mean? Like, magnify it and be super creative. Instead of the what ifs in terms of what could go wrong, what could go right?
Yeah.
And that way, it's this muscle that you just start creating. And all of a sudden, when you look at things, you look at them and see the potential rather than what could go wrong. You look at what could go right. And I think that was like big takeaway for so many people.
Yeah, which a lot of people don't implement in their life.
Nah. Everyone looks at what goes wrong rather than what goes right.
Yes. Like there's pessimists have a lot more weight than optimists, and realists are like, there's a few realists, but mostly they're pessimists.
No, that's right, man. That's right. And I'm speaking from experience, and I think you would be too, man.
Yeah. I'm still in the realist zone, but I'm trying to be going into pure optimist zone.
Oh, I think it has to be a balance, you know what I mean? But at the same time, real understanding with real action.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So if I want to be optimistic, if I put like, I knew something that's going to go 100% right, then I'll be optimistic about it. And then I'll be like, but if there's a thing where I don't have much control, then I might be more realistic on those terms.
Yeah, totally understand.
And I think
topic too.
It is. We'll come on later.
Done.
The next one that I got away from the book is the action habit. The action habit is, whenever you hear your friends or anyone like, oh, what's your like New Year's resolution? First of all, like it's like everybody has this 1st of January. They're gonna be millionaires. They're gonna be billionaires. They're gonna have the best body from that date. They're gonna start then. So everybody puts off the thing, and he says that now is the magic word. Whatever you wanna do, be a doer, not a don'ter. Get started and start doing it. So if you wanna learn something. If you want to make apps, if you want to learn app development, you start learning that now. If you want to have the 6-pack abs, you start doing that crunch now. And
I'll wait for when the time comes.
I'll wait for till I get this, and then I have that, and then I don't have work, but I have to go to work. Forget that. And I have so many friends that they tell, and I'm on his phone and like, oh, how's your training going? Like, oh, I'm starting Monday. Monday never comes.
Good old Monday.
Monday is the biggest dream killer.
I literally tell my clients, and like, when we do the health coaching, okay, I've just given you the plan. Sometimes I deliver it to them. We talk on like a Wednesday, and I'm like, you have your option, okay? When do you want to start? I don't like the Monday idea, okay? When do you feel you get a grasp of it? Don't give me that Monday bullshit. When are you ready to start is when we start. Yeah. Not, okay, I'll wait for the new week. Bullshit, right?
Yeah. That's like so much. You just can't stop seeing it.
It's like you're like, when the universe comes together as one and the clouds,
all the stars will be aligned in my direction, and
at
then
exactly 6:01 p.m. On this day,
I'll step in the gym and then
I'll start, and there'll be exactly.
And I'll get this brilliant idea. My brain will be super focused, so I can start studying on this from Monday. But that's what he talks about. Like, the magic word is now, and you need to use it in whatever you speak about. You have to do. Implement. Say it now. All right, I have to do this. Okay, I'll do it now. Take the first. If you can't run the whole thing, take the first step and put something to like the trigger for it, so you can start for it.
Yeah.
But the magic word is now.
The magic word is now. I love that. And I think that's super powerful. Like, it works in every context, Clearly goes to show that, yes, even people before our time knew some stuff, right?
Yeah.
This guy, honestly, I wish he had another book. I've been looking and I can't find anything. I just want to. He's so good at writing as well.
Oh yeah, the
really
book,
good at writing.
you get like so involved in all the stories.
Just
Like,
gets you right. Like
yeah,
one is
some really tiny, small stories, but you feel the characters and then
You're
what's
there.
going. Yeah, you're there. It's very good, very well
it's a
written.
good escape at the same time while you learn, right?
Yeah.
And not many books are like that. So the next one that I took was it's all revolving around the same sort of things, successful patterns. But this is like to do with networking and being a human, a good, powerful human with a powerful presence. And so he talks about making your attitude your allies. And what he says is, I've written down some quotes again because he's always got some awesome stuff. Attitudes are mirrors of the mind. They reflect thinking. In other words, I can see your attitude, your body language, your smile. Is it fake? Is it real? What are you thinking? Do you like me? Do you not? Do you hate me? Do you want to stab me? You know what I mean? Like, all these things. And so those are really important. You have to get them down packed. Not to manipulate people, but being genuine. And that's something he really emphasizes. You can be a master manipulator, but it doesn't get you anywhere. People read that. And then and the next quote is, we read attitudes through expressions and voice tones, right? So, which is the same thing.
Yeah.
So he talks about improving and actually purposefully working on improving this. Most people think, I don't feel like it though. Irrelevant. So irrelevant. You don't have to feel like it, okay? It's about doing. Like you said, do it now.
Yeah.
And so when you go and shake hands with people, be enthusiastic. Shake hands with enthusiasm. I know right now we technically can't. Fist bump with enthusiasm. Break their knuckles, you know what I mean? Or their elbows. I'm kidding.
And that's the image you leave with them. Like, if you're always on the phone, like, hey, bro, what's up, man? But, like, not in a phony way. But if it's genuine and you're excited to speak to this person, next time they call you, they will associate that feeling of high energy, optimism with you. And then if he has an opportunity, not even in a business sense, but in his life or something which involves energy and optimism, he would think of you and he would contact you. Right. So that's how you attract these energies around you.
And even whether it's just, of course, like you said, it's not just networking for the sake of networking because what can I get out of it? Just as a human, friends, family, everyone.
And even like if you do more for people, you actually feel good about yourself.
It's literally, there's a good saying, giving to charities or donating or giving to other people and helping is the most selfish thing you can do because you're the one that's left feeling so good. You get these hormones, serotonin in your body, right? And 100% true.
Yeah.
He talks about, the smile. How important a smile
how contagious is a smile. I've tried this over and over when I go for a walk. Yeah. I like to do this experiment thing, like I'll smile at people and I'll see how many smiles I didn't get back.
Yeah.
And like they're only like, till now I've only got one or two people who haven't smiled back because they have like really shit lives or whatever.
Oh man, it's sad. But
you feel bad.
True.
But like if you smile to someone, other persons, they light up. If you see someone walking like sad and worried about thinking and you give them a smile, they smile back at you. For that second, their body physiology told them to be happy and they had that trigger and they felt better about themselves.
And there's two ways to look at it, right? 'Cause some people say, they don't always smile back. Give a full freaking smile, not a half-ass smile. No one's going to smile back to a half-ass smile, right?
I smile like Joker to scare people off.
Maybe not.
Find the balance.
All right, I like this. Two stories. One is he says in the book, he got into an accident. Guy was coming out of the car, and he looked like he was pissed. He was ready to go off. So the first thing he does, he gets out of the car, and he's like, all right, his name's David. He's like, all right, David, speaking to himself, biggest smile. And he has this massive, biggest smile he could possibly put on his face, and he said, sorry, friend. And all of a sudden, you see the other guy, flips his attitude, and he's just reciprocating, and he's like, that's okay.
How can you be angry with someone who's like that?
Exactly. Yeah. And so another one is to show, like, this is how true it is. Have you ever sat down maybe at a doctor's office or somewhere, and you may have been in a shit room, maybe everyone was in a tense situation, but there was a baby. And there was this tiny little baby, and he just looks and he starts smiling, and he's like happy as anything. And all of a sudden, you start smiling. It's contagious. Yeah. Because it was genuine, right? So it has to be a genuine smile. Look at someone, put all your effort into it. Compliment others. When you see someone just got their hair done, oh, you look fantastic. You look good. Have you lost weight? Maybe, if you see
and give real compliments, don't like just for the sake of it. Everybody has something you can compliment them on. Like he talks in the book about like how you can see like everybody has something you can compliment them about, and
That's right.
something they're even working towards that will give them more boost to keep going and doing those things.
Just don't make the mistake of saying, "Oh my God, are you pregnant?" Okay, because some people...
When are you due?
Oh, don't do that, all right? We've all done it. It's the best when people get you, right? But compliment others, okay? Affirmation. What's the weather like? It's fantastic weather. Respond with excellent. Don't say, "Oh, yeah, I'm okay." But I think that sums it up. That was a really, really important piece, man.
Yeah, and the last part, which I think I try to incorporate every now and then into it, but I should really like do it every day, was the part that you are what you think you are, which I implement. But another part is like it involves several parts. One of the parts is dress like that part.
Yeah.
So now especially if I'm working from home, I try to now have like proper clothes rather than my PJ to go to sit to work.
Yeah.
Because if you dress the part, then you feel about that part.
That's
and
very
you
true.
actually feel inside that your work is important.
Yeah.
And you're doing important work. The more you feel you're doing important work, the more you feel you are important, the more better work you produce. The more better work you produce, the more better output you get, the more better recognition, the more
That's right.
response you get. So it's
By
like,
the way, I've noticed that in you. I've noticed a difference, even just changing clothes.
Yeah.
You're almost like in work uniform.
Yeah.
All of a sudden the mindset's there.
yeah, and then when I finish, I just go back to my PJ. But it also tells me like, okay, this is my segregation of work and this. So this is what he speaks about, which I think like has really benefited me and which I'm keeping with myself. The next thing he talks about is thinking regulates action. And if a man feels inferior, he acts the way, and like you can't hide it. Some people, I know so many people who inside are inferior, but they show it off that, they're confident and they overcompensate on a lot of things, which, and everyone can tell.
Just describe a little bit of an inferior for some people that may not quite understand that context.
I'll give you one example. I was at a party one day, and because I was big, I'm a bit, I'm not training this much, but I was bigger at that point. So whenever I go, people just think I'm a meathead. There was a bench. There was a bench press over there. So I was eating and then chilling with the people, and I just thought, there's a bench press, and I am a meter. I'm like, I might do some sets. So I went ahead and I did like there was like 80 kilos or something on it.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and did like a set. I did like 12 or 14 something reps on it, and then I put it back, and then I like set up, and then I went off. And there was this another guy. He doesn't train that much, but. Nobody asked him to come and do it, and nobody asked me, but he said, I can do it. I've been training. And then he goes there and he picks up the weight and he just starts coming down on it. And I have to pick it up and put the weight back on.
Oh, dude, I feel so bad for that guy
And
right now.
then he was nobody asked him that he is not that person who doesn't train. He was trying to show I train and I'm stronger. And that's what put him down.
Yeah.
So this is just one of the examples. But a lot of the times, even I'm speaking at work with someone about something, and they speak about something they don't know about to overcompensate on that part. So that happens with everyone. And everyone, some places, everyone is guilty of that too.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Yeah. So he speaks about how to regulate your actions and how you're thinking about those things. And you become the person. If you feel you're important, you become that person.
Yeah, that's right. Belief.
Yeah, how you determine, how you think determines how you act. How you act in turn determines how others react to you. So if you think that you are this person who doesn't have to prove to something to anyone, if you think you're the person that is actually genuine, and then you actually are genuine, and you attract real friendships, and other people will in turn act and determine the same way to you and reach out to you the same way.
Yeah, 100%. I think, the way you respond to others is, the reaction comes back in the same way, right?
Yeah, you need
By the way, I'm going to flip that around. It's determines, man. Say it again, determines.
Determines. I have my English test.
Sorry, man. I had to flip that. Yeah. 100%.
Determines.
Determines. Powerful points. And I think, just to end this off, my thoughts on the book are that every human on this planet, regardless of where you think you are right now, should read this book. And especially if you are caught up in a mindset where you feel like you've got reasons and excuses, which in your mind are going to be genuine for you, that, you know, as to why you can't do something, then this is something you really need to read, because he really drills into it in a really good manner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've given this book to a few of my friends. I think one of the things you should do after you finish reading it is have a plan what you're going to do after that, after these takeaways, what you
Yeah.
learned and what you're going to implement, because otherwise you don't take away anything from it. It doesn't improve your life quality.
That's
So
right. That's really important, yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much with every book, but definitely with this book too.
Yeah, I think that, I think that's a good wrap. And any book you ever read, guys, especially after this, but hand it to someone else. And I'd love to know your thoughts on it, because it was a super powerful book, and we're obviously talking it up heaps, you know. It's only because we're getting money for people that buy it. No, I'm not kidding. But, you know, seriously, couldn't talk it up more. Love you guys, and, you know.
Catch you later.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Alligator.
Ciao.